Nippon Hoso Podcast Station.
Today's phrase この物語はフィクションであるというかこの世の大抵はフィクションである During high school, my teacher called me up after class and she was like, "Do you know how to speak English?" She thought I was a transfer student from Japan and that's why I wasn't speaking. That is how shy I was. But look at me now. Anime English Club with Sally Amaki. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 7 of the Anime English Club with Sally Amaki. I'm your host, Sally Amaki. よろしくお願いします。We have another mail. Thank you so much. 2 in a row. 嬉しい。ペンネーム、ルートノッペさんからいただきました。Thank you, ルートノッペ。サリーさん、新番組スタートおめでとうございます。ありがとうございます。英語を話すサリーさんが毎週見れるなんて夢心地。きっと毎週小粋なアメリカンジョークが聞けるんだろうな。どうだろう。ところで質問があります。番組は 99.9% 英語ってことですが、やっぱりお便りも英語で送った方がいいのでしょうか？このお便りが選ばれたということはNo! It could be in Japanese, English or Japanese. Honestly,It doesn't even have to be in English or Japanese. It can be in Spanish. Yo hablo español también. スペイン語もちょっといけるので。はい。でも英語のポッドキャストなので、ポッドキャスト内では読まれるかどうかはわかりませんが、全然、お便りは何でも大丈夫です。すべて嬉しいです。We're happy with any emails. So, thank you so much. はい。So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. This episode is part 2 of our 3-part series of Oshi No Ko. So for those of you that do not know, I'm going to explain again. Oshi No Ko was created by Aka Akasaka and illustrated by Mango Yokoyari. The manga began in Weekly Young Jump in April 2020, with its anime adaptation premiering in April 2023.It explores the entertainment industry through the story of Aqua and Ruby, the twin children of the idol Ai Hoshino. So they have 2 seasons so far. And next year, 2026, the 3rd season has already been announced, and I'm so excited! So let's get into it. Last week, the first episode of our 3-part series, we talked about the different ways of saying oshi. So stan, favorite...I support so-and-so, or I'm rooting for. So if you guys want to check it out, please go back a video or go back a podcast and listen to that one. はい。では、参りましょう。Today's phrase. The phrase I chose today is この物語はフィクションである。というか、この世の大抵はフィクションである。はい。So if you say this in English, it would be, this story is a work of fiction. Actually, most everything in this world is fiction. Da-da-da-da. This is the very start of the series, so the shocking opening declaration of the series, a deep questioning of the entire entertainment industry. So while the idol group performing at the... So this is a narration that was said during...the idol group performing at the stage of Nippon Budokan, which is a very, very popular stage in Japan. It actually exists in Japan. This isn't just a legal disclaimer, it's a philosophical statement that sets the tone for everything that follows. It makes us question what's real in our media-saturated world. You know what? I relate to this quote so much. Like this story is a work of fiction, but not just this story. Like most everything in this world is a work of fiction. Just because, like Goro was saying, people tend to act the way that they want to be perceived as. So for instance, if you're in front of your boss, you're not going to act the same way as you act in front of your best friend. Honestly, speaking from a people pleaser's perspective, I don't even know what the real me is. So I would say I am very fictional. Hi. People pleaser, people pleaser は なんて言えばいいの日本語で。嫌われるのが怖い人。like, people pleaser は本当人にいい顔する。そうっていう意味があるんですけど、本当に、yeah, so from speaking from a people pleaser's perspective, I relate to this so much. And I also like the phrase that came from, I think it was episode 1, where I first got scouted to be an idol. And she was like, I don't know how I can become an idol because don't idols usually say things like I love you to their fans? Like, I don't know what love is, so I can't say it. But the manager, or soon-to-be manager for I was like, a lie will become true if you keep saying it. So even if you don't know what love is, maybe if you keep saying I love you, one day it'll become true. Which is very true for me as well. Not saying, not for I love you, not in that sense. A lie will become true. I feel like it happened to me working in this entertainment industry. So I started off as a really shy kid. Like super shy to the point. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I went to school there all my life. But I was so shy. I never talked during class. During high school, my teacher called me up after class and she was like, do you know how to speak English? She thought I was a transfer student from Japan, and that's why I wasn't speaking. That is how shy I was. But look at me now. I had a, I had a vision of what kind of idol I wanted to be. I really looked up to Suzuki Airi and like Tsukishima Kirari from Kirarin Revolution, like the anime and manga Kirarin Revolution. And I really love idols who are really energetic and outgoing. So I wanted to become somebody like that. So I kind of first got into that persona, even though that wasn't me. But I've been in this industry I've been an idol for 8 years now. And honestly, it's become who I am now. Even when the cameras aren't rolling, I kind of feel comfortable speaking to the staff members and like my members around me in a really energetic state. So if you, keep lying, fake it till you make it. That's it. Fake it till you make it. はい。真実になるまでやり続ければ真実になり。嘘も方便ってことですか？違うそれは。Is it not? 嘘も方便。ちょっと違いました。ちょっと違うよ。No. はい。Anyway, so yeah, a lie will become true. So keep doing whatever you want to do and maybe one day you'll become that. All right. So let's look at the vocab. So fiction versus nonfiction. Fiction and nonfiction, I guess you use in Japanese as well, like nonfiction and fiction. But if we break it down, let's look at what fiction is. So fiction is basically creative work or made-up stories. So like fictional characters. 二次元のキャラクターのことをフィクショナルキャラクターって海外では言うんですけど、fictional characters. So basically movies or novels, like something that somebody made up. And then nonfiction is content-based on real facts. So a documentary series or an autobiography, something about you. Like everything is real. はい。です。So speaking of nonfiction, Aqua and Memucho and everybody else was in a reality show, a love reality show. And they didn't really use the word fiction and nonfiction for this. They actually used the word scripted and unscripted. So it has a very close meaning, but it's a bit different. So, for instance, scripted would mean something with a script. So this podcast, it's not 100% scripted, but there is a certain, script that I have to follow. But it's not 100% scripted, but there is a script for this. And unscripted would be if I just throw everything out. And if I'm just hey guys, we're just gonna talk, free will, free speech. I'm just gonna speak what's on my mind. That would be unscripted, so spontaneous and without a script. And I feel like the reason why they chose to translate the reality show that Aqua was on to be unscripted. They said the reality show is unscripted, but they didn't say it was nonfiction. And that is because nonfiction would suggest that they're showing everything in its natural habitat. So they're showing real life as it naturally happens. But like Aqua said in one of the episodes, he said, reality shows don't have a script, but it has staging. So, so, なんだろう. By saying it has staging, it implies that, there is no script, but there is this sort of scene that the directors want to take or the directors want to capture. So nothing really happens authentically, And I basically relate to this a lot. Speaking again from a idol's perspective, we have a lot of documentaries. 7分の22 also has a lot of documentaries that are in the CDs. And whenever they shoot documentaries, there's this sort of unspoken atmosphere when the camera's on you that you have to say something good. It makes me feel like I can't really be my authentic self. I feel like that's why people really like the backstage videos that I post on my personal YouTube channel. It's because the members on there is basically their authentic selves versus what you see on other idol documentaries, because first of all, the person behind the camera really isn't your friend. So reality shows don't have a script, but it has staging. So the character that understood this the most, I feel like, would be Yuki and Aqua from Rendia from this show. Because they knew exactly where the cameras were. They knew exactly what the audience wanted. They knew exactly what the directors wanted. And they played the part. And that's why they got... Well, Aqua didn't really get much screen time, but Yuki got a lot of screen time. And at the very end, the show was basically centered around her. Because she knew... she knew what to say. Basically, the directors didn't have to give her a script. Everything was unscripted, but she went along with the 演出. What is 演出? So staging. She went with what the directors wanted, and that's why she became the director's favorite. And I see that a lot. I feel like, I see that a lot, especially, for instance, we have it's not a documentary series, but I have a variety show that I do with my group, 7分の22, Keisangai. It's broadcasted every Saturday, by the way. Just so you know. But whenever I say something that I feel that the director wants, it makes it into the final cut. But whenever I say something that's a little bit too harsh or a little bit, too negative, that would give the whole entire show a negative light, it gets cut out, even though I think it's funny. So, it's very, it's manipulated, I would say. So unscripted is close to nonfiction, but it's a manipulated nonfiction. So it's not 100% real, but... So it's not authentic. Yeah, it's not authentic, but it's not authentic as nonfiction. It is staged. And also going back to the phrase, この物語はフィクションであるというかこの世の大抵はフィクションである. They translated 大抵は into most everything. But I feel like a lot of the people watching this podcast, if your first language is Japanese, you would translate 大抵は into almost everything. And almost everything does work in this case as well, because 大抵は means ほとんど. But the reason why they used most everything what I think the reason is. It feels like almost everything would mean like 99% of everything is fiction. But when they say most everything, it seems a bit closer to everything. So like 99.9% of everything. So it seems a bit more harsh. Like harsh or more, it seems more. Most seems more than almost for me. So I would use most everything in this case as well. Now let's look at the pronunciation. This week's phrase is この物語はフィクションであるというかこの世の大抵はフィクションである In English, this story is a work of fiction. Actually, most everything in this world is fiction. One more time. This story is a work of fiction. Actually, most everything in this world is fiction. Ooh. So the words I choose that sounded a bit hard to pronounce would be actually. Actually, don't try to pronounce the T as much. Don't be like actually. A lot of people say actually, but change the T into a SHU. Actually. Actually じゃなくて actually. So actually. Actually. So, Come on. Pretend you just lost a battle in a shonen anime and you're a main character and you're on your knees and you're like you know those scenes where they're basically almost dead but they're like we're not done yet. That's the kind of you want. So Ali, you just have to wing it. You just have to go for it. Actually. Oh, you know what? That sounded like a sneeze. Actually. So, yeah, when you sneeze, I think you can pronounce actually. So whenever... it's allergy season in Japan, actually, right now. Spring in Japan is terrible because there's so many things in the air. So yeah, go outside, sniff the air, sneeze, and try to pronounce actually. Actually. You're welcome. 次, world. World is also hard. World. I feel like everything with an O-R or A-R is hard. World. Pretend you're brushing your teeth and you don't want to swallow your spit. Should I show you guys? You know, like you're a frog who keeps everything in their throat, you know, like I'm gonna show you guys. So this is me talking without anything in my mouth. This is me talking with water in my mouth, trying not to swallow it. World. その感じ。わかりました？皆さん、put something in your mouth right now and try to speak without swallowing it. That's the throat you want to have when you say the O-R. World. Yeah. All right, there you have it. So, if you want to pronounce actually in world, sneeze and also put water in your mouth and try speaking and you're fluent.
アニメイングリッシュクラブ with サリーAmaki.
Now moving on to the culture context. So the reality show. I feel like the reality shows in Japan and the reality shows that I used to watch back in America is very different. Because Akane got so much hate for putting like one scar on Yuki's face. Honestly, I feel like if that was America, that would make her the star of the show. Yeah, because in Japan, whenever I look at these like reality shows, I feel like the girls who make the least amount of trouble and who are very lovable are the fan favorites. But the reality shows in America, it's the ones that cause the most drama become the most popular after the reality show ends, you know? So, I used to watch The Real Housewives, very guilty pleasure. ちなみに guilty pleasure これよく出てくると思うんですけど guilty pleasure はguilty pleasure is something that you're not very proud of saying that you like なんかだからあんまいい趣味とは思われないだろうけどでもなんか見ちゃうんだよねっていうのが guilty pleasure だから guilty だけどプレジャーすごいいい気持ちになれるから guilty pleasureっていう言葉があるのでなんか例えばあんま世間的に人気じゃない作品とか見るときに My guilty pleasure is Anime English Club with Sally Amaki I hope it's not your guilty pleasure but yeah そんな感じですねなんかネガティブな意見持たれてるけど私は好きなんですよねの時に guilty pleasure 使いますはいなので私は when I was in America my guilty pleasure was the Real Housewives reality show and honestly people were pulling each other's hair and like talking behind everybody's back throughout the whole entire show and I feel like that's the whole entire point of reality shows but in Japan like the reality shows in Japan everybody's so nice I feel like they're afraid of the public eye and what people are going to say online after the episode airs so it's not as extreme as it is overseas and that makes me sad because I want to see some hair pulling yeah 炎上 so in English it would probably be oh she's up in flames right now or like people are hating on her online right now or like something like that I feel like 炎上 is not as harsh as it is in America than it is in Japan because I think it's the way the entertainment industry is なんだろう it's really hard to explain but when something is really popular in Japan I feel like that one topic becomes very popular in the whole entire country like everybody knows about it whereas in America because it's so big and the entertainment industry has like so many different aspects there are reality TV show fans and there's like movie star fans and there's like pop star fans so you wouldn't really get hate from everybody whereas in Japan people hate they go on the hate train just cuz you know and so yeah it seems a bit more extreme yeah so like for Akane if this actually happened in Japan she would be trending #1 in Twitter probably but if this happened like if this episode aired in America I don't think it would be trending in America so yeah the focus so that I feel like the entertainment industry overseas is a bit more scattered you know everybody there's different categories whereas in Japan it's basically like there's only one it girl right now and there's only one it TV show and that's what everybody talks about is what I think yeah hi so thank you so much for watching this or listening to this episode of the Anime English Club make sure to follow us on X and other social media the next time will be the last episode of the Oshi No Ko 3-part series and we will talk about the word gambaru through the story of Akane Kurokawa my girl deserved better honestly alright hi the Anime English Club wants to hear from you whether it's a scene or anime you want me to talk about, general English questions, or you just want to say hi, we want to hear from you. So email us at aec@1242.com. That's aec@1242.com. You can email me in either Japanese or English. 日本語でも英語でもお便りお待ちしております。そして、we also have a YouTube channel. You can check the subtitles both in English and Japanese. Go to youtube.com/@anime-english-club or you can just search by the title. And please subscribe as well. And please like and comment as well. Thank you. Hi, so thank you so much for watching the second episode of the Oshi No Ko 3-part series. Next week will be our last one, so I'm gonna try to say everything I want about this series. はい、ということで皆さんまた来週 See you next week! From the Nippon Hoso podcast station, this is the Anime English Club, hosted by me, Sally Amaki. This episode was directed by Kensuke Yoshida and was written and produced by Shiori Tanaka of Nippon Broadcasting System, Japan.